guys, I have a gift for you. It's this review, actually. You're watching it right now, guys. You can watch it, you can enjoy it, you can rewatch it as many times as you want, but you cannot return it. There's no receipt. Sorry. Anyway, hey there, guys. What's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here, back with another movie review. Guys, I know, alright, a lot of you guys are probably going to be like, Mike, why didn't you see this movie over the weekend? Why did you wait until now and not help its box office, increase? Because I decided to go see Craptastic 4, that's why, which is what I'm calling it now. No, seriously, guys, I know, I probably should have seen this movie over the weekend when mostly everyone else did, and I should have reviewed it then, but I saw Craptastic 4. Don't see that, by the way. I decided to wait for this movie till Tuesday, and now I've seen it, and of course the movie I'm going to be reviewing in this video is The Gift. That's right, guys, The Gift, came out Friday, and this is the directorial debut of Joel Edgerton. Now, guys, a lot of you are probably saying to yourself, wait, what? Joel Edgerton, the guy who played the angry Tom from Great Gatsby, or the guy from Zero Dark 30, directed a movie? Yeah, he did. The Gift is the directorial debut for Joel Edgerton. He also wrote the movie, which I didn't even know until I saw the credits. And he produced the movie, and of course, he's one of the lead stars of the movie. So, I was definitely curious to see what he would do, behind the director's chair instead of being all behind the camera, because he is in front of the camera for this movie. But for majority, he's behind the chair directing our actors and making the story come to life. So with that said, guys, before I get any more into my thoughts on the movie itself, let me get into the premise for The Gift. The movie starts off, and it's your typical psychological thriller horror opening, okay? I wouldn't even call this movie a horror film. I would call it more so a psychological thriller. But anyway, it's basically the first 30 minutes of this movie is nothing original or nothing we haven't seen before. A newlywed couple, you can infer they're newlyweds, played by Jason Bateman and Rebecca Hall, move into this incredibly huge new house somewhere in California, where Jason Bateman's character once grew up, and he's, vying for a top position where he works at the security firm or whatever, and the two of them, they're trying to, get readjusted. They're also trying to start a family, of course. We've seen all of it before. They run into one of Jason Bateman's old high school classmates, who in this movie, his name is Gordo, or as everybody calls him, Weirdo Gordo, and in this movie, he's played by Joel Edgerton. Now, Joel Edgerton, when he first comes into the movie and he first meets up with his old classmate, who hasn't seen in years, comes off as very awkward, he's this socially awkward kind of guy, very odd to be around, comes off as somewhat creepy, doesn't know how to really start up a conversation or anything unless he's drunk, and Jason Bateman's like, alright, we could hang out a bit. So, Joel Edgerton starts stopping by the house more often than he should. Their new house, leaving them these little gifts and little presents here or there. They start having dinner together, and at some point, Jason Bateman's like, nah, I'm not getting good feelings about this, not getting good vibes. This guy's just too plain out weird. I don't want him to have anything to do with us. And then everything goes downhill from there. And guys, that's all I'm going to say about the premise of this movie. Because essentially, that's the first 30 minutes of this movie. And it's what we've seen before. This creepy character interjects into this newlywed couple's life. And, he's very creepy. And he may be in the house. Oh, but wait, maybe he's not. Alright, it's basically everything we've seen before. But I'm not even joking with you guys. The last two acts of this movie are not even remotely what you think is going to happen. It's not following down that formulaic route that most thrillers and horror movies follow nowadays. It's taking its own path, which I will applaud The Gift for. Anyway, guys, before I went into this movie, I'm talking 2 weeks before the review started coming in for this movie, I was actually very skeptical and at some point kind of dreading this movie. I was just going to be like, this is going to be just that one really forgettable ass horror movie that came out in August that had literally every cliche in the book, every single predictable moment that you could find in a thriller or a horror movie, and I was just kind of dreading this movie. The trailers made this movie look so 100% predictable. And although they give away some of the plot, and you kind of wish they just cut a few things out of the trailers, I'm going to be quite frankly honest with you guys. This movie, The Gift, is one of the biggest surprises you are going to see in a movie probably all year long, okay? In that, I had very low expectations when the trailers came out, and going into this movie with better expectations because of how good the reviews were, how many people were saying they enjoyed the movie, I left the movie saying, this is one refreshing, damn near perfect psychological thriller that had a lot of things working pretty well, from the performances to Joel Edgerton's directing to the writing of the script to the twists and turns in the movie. And that is why I actually really enjoyed this movie. I had fun watching it. It was exciting. It was tension-riddled. I loved The Gift. It was great. It was a really interesting movie. And what I loved so much about it, more than probably anything else, is that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, okay? It's not this campy, corny, cliched, predictable mess where, oh, Joel Edgerton's just playing the cliche, just stalker guy. Oh, he's going to stalk Rebecca Hall while she's in the shower, or oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's killing pets and whatnot. I mean, it's not like that. The movie diverges from those just horrible routes that it could have taken, and it's actually very smartly written with a legitimately twisted final act of this movie. I mean, major props to Joel Edgerton for writing this script, because yes, the first 30 minutes is one of my least favorite components of this movie. It's just it just feels like what we've seen before done just in a slightly different way. You know, new family, new house, wedding, blah blah blah. It's the same thing. Okay, I've seen that a million times. Right after that, this movie literally gets better and better and better and better, and that's some of the best praise I have to give The Gift. Now, a lot of people praised last year's The Babadook for being like a psychologically mind-bending, mind-breaking film that really messed with your head as you watched it, and instead of just throwing jump scares at you. And while I enjoyed that movie, I don't enjoy it, or nor was I affected by it as much as other people were. I feel The Gift is exactly this type of movie, but it really just has a great way of messing with your head, because Joel Edgerton's character is just not that, you know, cliched stalker killer. Oh, he's got a knife. Oh, he's going to stab Rebecca Hall while she's in the shower, or he's going to slit Jason Bateman's throat, or he's going to kill their pets. That's not what he is. He literally, you don't know whether or not he's doing half of the things that he may or may not be doing to this family in this movie. Rebecca Hall, most of this may or may not be going on in her head, or Jason Bateman's head. You know, Joel Edgerton's character is that perfect type of stalker where he does things that just makes not only the characters start to lose their minds, but it makes the audience start to lose their minds. It makes you start to think and really just sit there in wonder and awe, trying to figure out what's really going on here. What is the purpose of all this? Why Joel Edgerton is acting this way? And when all that's revealed, it's pretty damn awesome. And when everything boils down to the final 15 minutes and everything that Joel Edgerton wants to do is revealed, it's one of the most satisfying endings I've seen to a film probably all year long. In a year filled with incredible movie endings, this is one of the best endings we have gotten all year long. I kid you guys not. It is an incredible ending, okay? It's not the ending that the typical moviegoer, mainstream audience member is going to want. They're going to want to see Joel Edgerton get hung by the, you know, by the wall. You know, they're going to want to see him pay for his mistakes. That's what everybody felt going into this movie. When I watched the trailer, I'm really like, all right, Joel Edgerton's going to die. All right, he's just, that's what's going to happen. All right, and whether or not that may be true in this movie, they take everything that you think is going to happen and completely subvert it, okay? They take characters that you think you care for and completely subvert our care for these characters and make us feel, holy crap, that character's a bastard. I don't want to care for them. That character's an ass. I want to see that character get what he has coming to him. He or she is coming to him. And, it's just great, guys. It's just quite frankly great. Now, one quick thing I do want to quickly mention are the performances and the characters themselves in this movie, because all three of our lead actors are great in this movie. Jason Bateman man, this guy's got to stop. Like, he's good in comedies, but he is so good in serious roles. He was great in Disconnect. He was great in this. Rebecca Hall is very, very good in this movie. And Joel Edgerton gives his best career performance to date. Okay, he was completely unrecognizable in this movie as this weirdo, socially awkward guy, Gordon. Okay, completely unrecognizable in my opinion. Not only did he do a great job behind the camera, but he did a great job making this character stand out in my opinion. And that's what I loved a lot about this movie. But that's just, the characters are so well written and just so different than what you'd expect from the carbon copy cutouts of characters we get nowadays in these types of movies. But, like, Jason Bateman's character isn't just your main protagonist who, you know, just had troubles with this kid back in the day. There's a lot more layers to his character, okay? And as each layer is revealed as the movie progresses, you're just left there with just incredible things. I can't say what I felt, guys, because I don't want to spoil anything. But it's Jason Bateman's character is completely different from what you expect him to be. That's all I'm going to say. Joel Edgerton's character, even, you think he's going to be that just like, that like idiotic, just like creep who makes mistakes here or there, but he doesn't, okay? And he's not like that. And it's just his lasting presence is what affects the characters in this movie mentally, because they don't know whether or not he's doing certain things, and in some moments he isn't doing things that they accuse him of doing, or maybe he is, maybe he isn't. That this movie just plays with the psychosis of the mind just brilliantly, in my opinion. And I love how Joel Edgerton's character wasn't just the you know, that cliche just stalker character who is just, you know, just completely crazy just because he has to be crazy. He has layers to him. He has an incredible backstory. He has a great purpose and a great reason for doing the things that he is doing. And that, in my opinion, is why The Gift works so well. It creates very intriguing characters with different layers and incredible backstories that really make them all turn out to be different characters come the end of the movie. And leading up to, in my opinion, one of the greatest finales we have had in a film all year long, this ending is 100% satisfying. The last shot, the big reveal as to what certain characters may or may not have done. It is the one of the most satisfying endings you are going to watch in the whole year. It's twisted, it's brilliant, it will leave your mouth on the floor in how much shock at what is going on before screen. And it will also leave you satisfied for one certain character. It will. And it's just something, it's so unconventional. It's something I haven't seen a psychological thriller do in I don't know how long. The writing in this movie is great. The film is incredibly shot. The cinematography is great. The performances, the twist ending, the psychosis of it all, just the psychological elements of this movie that make you start to lose your mind. You're gripping the edge of your seat. It's thrilling. It's intense. The Gift is a great movie that I definitely recommend you guys check out. I'm going to go high for my rating for this movie. I'm going 9 out of 10 or A-. This is one of the most refreshing thrillers we have had in a very, very long time. Please go see this movie, guys. I only had to complain with something. It would be the first 30 minutes is nothing new at all. I really just wanted to get out of that component, and when we get into other scenes, the tension is there, the thrills are there, and they just didn't back off, in my opinion. I also felt the movie, another great thing, doesn't rely that heavily on jump scares. There's 2 jump scares in the movie, one of which I hated. The other one actually worked, okay? So I gotta give the movie that much praise as well. But guys, those are my thoughts on The Gift. Please, if you like psychological thrillers, if you like thrillers that are unconventional, this is your movie, guys. Alright, The Gift, really good movie. Please check it out if you can. Don't see Fantastic Four. Don't rewatch that movie. No one will, but just don't. If you haven't seen Fantastic Four, don't. Go see The Gift, okay? So guys, thank you so much for watching. Those are my thoughts on The Gift. What did you guys think of the movie? Let me know down below in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching, and I thank you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.